You can look back today and realize 5 weeks ago, you probably should have had some different conversations, and that's part of learning. So awesome. All right. The good news for you is those sellers don't know what they don't know. So anything you do is just part of your process. All right. So you don't need to call them and apologize, which is what the initial response is that you call and apologize because their house hadn't sold, or you apologize because of the market. You don't need to apologize. Okay. So you call them and say, hey, look, I hope you had an amazing holiday weekend. I want to set some time to get to, are they local? Perfect. So I want to set some time with you later this week to get together and just go over where we are in the market, what's happening in the market as the market's changing, and what's a good time for you. And they're going to say, oh, well, what do you want to talk about? This is just part of my process. And I do this with all of my clients. And I would like to set that time to get together with you. So is Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday, whatever day better for you, right? And then you need to go sit with them and show them. So before you get there, it's very important that you've already done the homework. So when you sit down, you want to, this is all about the presentation. You want to open your laptop in front of them. You want to make sure that you go, all right, so here's our house and here's where it's sitting on the market. And then you plug in the criteria explaining each step of the way of the criteria you're plugging in. And you go, oh, look, these three houses have sold, and here's why they sold. They're better condition, they're lower price, and it'll be one of those two things. And because all you're dealing with is price. That's it. That's all that you're dealing with in these situations. Now, if the home backs up to a sewer treatment plant, or the home backs up to power lines or something like that, that's a little bit different. But if it's a normal house and it shows good and all things are equal like that, it's just price. That's it. It's just price. And remember, you didn't create the market. That's the most important thing for you guys to understand. And you guys haven't been through this before. You haven't been through these price reductions. You haven't been through a house sitting on the market for 6 months. So our initial response is to apologize. You didn't do anything wrong. All right. But you don't want to tell them, you want to show them. And it's very important that you show them. And then you say, so for example, what's the property listed at? 289. So a major price reduction for them would be 275, because it'll expose it to a new group of buyers, right? Because people search in 100s, 50s, and then 25s. They need this. You guys, I can remember sitting with people like, well, I need to pay off my American Express card, and I got to pay the movers, and I want to have $4,000 in my pocket at the end of closing. All right. The market doesn't care about your American Express and the movers and the $4,000. The market is the market, and all of those things have no bearing on what they can do to sell their property. So the conversation is, I appreciate that. And here's what I know, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. Every single person wants the most money they can get from their property. Do you feel that that's the case for you? And they'll say yes. So what we need to do is we need to talk about how we get your property sold. Now, here's what I also know. If we don't get an offer on your property, we can't sell your property. So we need to position the price of the home to get you an offer, and then you have the ability to say no to it. But if we don't get an offer, you don't even have anything to say no to. So you have to become really good as this market is changing at having these conversations, because they're all going to have a reason of why they need X. The market doesn't care. I hope everybody's shaking their head in understanding, like, you're going to navigate that conversation over and over and over. And you have to be really good at explaining the market doesn't care. The market does not care about what you owe, about what you want, about what you need to pay. It doesn't care. But if we get an offer and then it doesn't work out for you, then you can say no to that offer. We got to get an offer first.